Attention, passionate Cleveland Browns fans. The latest developments are sending shockwaves through the AFC North, and it could reshape the entire landscape. We're talking about a seismic shift that might redefine the Browns' path to a Super Bowl run, a power realignment that could leave a division rival stumbling for years to come. And guess what? You're getting this firsthand from us. But before we dive into the details, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fanatic, smash that subscribe button to fuel this passion even further. Let's unite as a family, hit that milestone of 1,000 subscribers together, and share this video with every fellow fan you know. Now, let's get to the heart of the story. Browns Nation, I know the offseason brings a roller coaster of emotions, excitement, hope, and sometimes a touch of disappointment. But today's headline isn't just any news. It's a story that's shaking the entire AFC North to its core. It's a tale of loyalty, tough business decisions, and the true essence of what it means to be a Cleveland Brown. Trust me, this one's going to have fans buzzing for a long time. Picture this. It's already deep into June, and something unusual is unfolding. Nick Chubb, the beloved powerhouse running back, the emotional heart and soul of this franchise for years, remains unsigned. That's right, after the Browns chose not to renew his contract, you'd expect a stampede of offers, right? Yet here we are, months later, and no team has stepped up with an offer that makes sense for Chubb. It's genuinely shocking. Chubb, the Georgia product, who's defined the Browns' backfield, the man who single-handedly carried this offense through some of Cleveland's most unforgettable seasons, is now a free agent with no takers. This scenario has ignited a firestorm of debate among fans and analysts alike. Some argue it's simply the cold, hard reality of the NFL, a business where teams are always chasing the next big thing, and even franchise icons must accept the shifting sands of the league. Others, especially the die-hard Browns faithful, see it differently. They sense this is about more than just salary cap math. It's about respect, loyalty, and doing right by a player who has bled orange and brown. That's precisely what Nick Kays, a dedicated Brown supporter, highlighted on X, formerly known as Twitter. His heartfelt plea called for the Browns to honor Chubb's legacy and bring him home. Honestly, it's hard to disagree with that sentiment. Because if you look at Chubb's journey in Cleveland, it's a story of loyalty, grit, and pure football brilliance. From the moment the Browns drafted him out of Georgia, he became a cornerstone. His vision, power, and tackle-breaking ability made him one of the league's most feared runners. There were seasons when he wasn't just the best player on the team, he was the offense. That's no small feat, especially in an era where the running back position is often under. Yeah, Chubb silenced every doubter, time and again proving he was a franchise-caliber talent you build around. The Browns front office has been calculated and strategic throughout this process. Reports suggest they didn't want to re-sign Chubb unless they had a defined role for him in the offensive scheme. From a business standpoint, that's understandable. No team wants to re-sign a player just to appease fans, especially when they have promising young talent waiting in the wings. Indeed, Cleveland has invested heavily in the future of its backfield, drafting Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson, two dynamic prospects who could shape the team's identity for years to come. These draft picks aren't just roster fillers, they're the seeds of a new Browns identity, a new core designed to propel the team to the next level. Yet there's a deeply personal dimension to the decision to let Chubb walk. For fans who followed his career from day one, his loyalty to Cleveland has always shone brightly. Despite injuries and tough seasons, Chubb has consistently expressed his love for the city, the fans, and the organization. He's been more than just a player. He's been a symbol of resilience and dedication, embodying what it means to be a Cleveland Brown. That's why so many believe the team has a moral obligation to do right by him. Beyond the business side, it's about honoring the legacy of a player who gave everything to this franchise and its fans. Still, the Browns appear to be taking a cautious approach. Reports indicate they're hesitant to re-sign Chubb without a clear role carved out for him. S. Sanders. And let's be crystal clear, this isn't a fantasy. It's real. It's unfolding in real time, Browns fans. We could be witnessing the rise of the next phase of our franchise. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean he's starting week 1, if we're being honest, and we always are. Joe Flacco still appears to be the early frontrunner, but that doesn't diminish what Sanders is bringing to the table. Among all the quarterbacks in the room, he possesses the highest ceiling. That's not hype, that's pure tape and talent. Considering where this franchise has been, the carousel, the question marks, the chaos, there's something profoundly satisfying about seeing a young QB step up, even if it's just May. Yet not everything in Berea was sunshine and spirals. While some players elevated, others vanished. Let's talk about Deontay Johnson, a no-show at OTA. Sure, these are voluntary, but Johnson's absence hits differently. This isn't an up-and-coming rookie or a battle-tested veteran skipping drills. This is a wide receiver on his final chance. Let's be real. He's worn out his welcome in locker rooms, from Pittsburgh to Houston. He's got talent, no doubt, but when was the last time his name graced a positive headline? This was his opportunity to show commitment, to blend into a team culture that's rebuilding its identity, and instead, he ghosted. The concern here isn't just about a single practice, it's about perception. A guy on thin ice can't afford to be absent while others are grinding. He's reportedly been seen around the facility, but come mandatory camp, all eyes will be on him. His margin for error? Gone. On the flip side, the Browns' defensive line has been nothing short of dominant, disruptive, even fearsome. Mason Graham, remember that name? From rookie minicamp to OTA has been explosive, and not just by rookie standards. He's looking like someone who's already staking a claim on this defense. And let's not forget Joe Tryon, who brought so much heat he accidentally collided with a quarterback during drills. Was it a bit too much for OTA? Perhaps. But was it a sign of the ferocity this unit is bringing? Absolutely. This defense is building something you can feel in the trenches. If this group stays healthy, and that's always the big if, we could be looking at a top 5 unit in the league. No exaggeration. It's in the personnel, it's in the energy, it's in the intent. They're not just showing up, they're showing out. And now let's shift to the backfield, because it's not just crowded, it's evolving. Jerome Ford entered OTA as the presumed RB1, but listen closely and you'll hear the shift. Quinn Jenkins and Dylan Sampson have arrived, and they didn't show up just to watch. Jenkins looks like a feature back already. The burst, the vision, the confidence, it's all there. And Sampson, he might be the most dynamic, multi-talented back we've seen in camp this year. What does that mean for Ford? It could signal the start of a transition or the opening chapter in a potential trade discussion. The Browns are clearly embracing youth and explosiveness at running back, and right now, Jenkins looks like the one holding the keys to the kingdom, not by default, but by dominance. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Jerry Jeudy entered the scene, finally healthy, finally comfortable, finally looking like the WR1 we envisioned when he arrived. What makes it even more thrilling is his chemistry with Flacco, who still throws the deep ball like he's got a 28-year-old cannon. They've been lighting it up in OTAs, and if Flacco ends up as QB1, we could see a downfield connection that brings explosive fireworks this fall. Now, here's where I want you to weigh in. Out of all these storylines, Shader's rise, Johnson's absence, the dominance of the defensive line, the battle in the backfield, and Judy's resurgence, which one captivates you the most? Drop a comment below. And while we're on the subject of chemistry and breakout performances, let's circle back to Shader Sanders one more time. The whispers inside the facility are growing louder. This isn't just about mechanics anymore. It's about leadership, about how the guys are responding to him. Multiple reports suggest that even though he's the youngest QB in the room, he's carrying himself like a veteran, calm, poised, and most importantly, coachable. Let's also take a moment to talk about Kevin Stefanski. The head coach has taken his fair share of criticism over the years, but if you're paying attention to what he's building now, it's clear he's not just trying to survive, he's looking to evolve. The way he's rotating quarterback reps evenly, that's not indecision. That's a challenge, pushing all of them to step up, and Shazier seems to be answering that call. But the truth is, even with all this OTA hype, the Browns are walking a razor's edge. One injury, one locker room meltdown, one setback, That's all it takes to flip momentum into mayhem. That's why stories like Deontay Johnson's absence feel so much heavier than just a missed practice. It's not just about drills, it's about the message. If you're not locked in, you're out. This team doesn't have room for passengers. Meanwhile, other players are quietly stacking solid days. Dillon Gabriel, the other rookie QB, might not be lighting it up like Sanders, but he's not fading away either. If we've learned anything about quarterback rooms in the NFL, it's that depth matters. One injury can change everything. And for the Browns, having two young QBs hungry to climb the depth chart could be their most underrated asset this year. And let's not overlook that OTA attendance list. Yes, it was voluntary, but the names missing, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, David Njoku, these are leaders, veterans. And while no one's pressing the panic button, and Stefanski certainly isn't, their absence leaves a void. The next phase, mandatory camp, is where accountability meets opportunity. Because here's the bottom line. This team is changing, not on paper, but on the field. And if you're not paying close attention, you might miss the birth of something that could define the Browns for the next 5 years. So now it's your turn. We've broken down the OTA standouts, the concerns, and the quiet battles brewing in Berea. What do you think is the biggest storyline heading into mandatory camp? Is it Shazer's meteoric rise, the shakeup at running back, the Flacco-Judy connection, or maybe something else entirely? Leave a comment below and share your boldest prediction for the Browns. And if you haven't already, like this video and hit that subscribe button. Go Browns! Browns fans, brace yourselves, because what we're about to witness might be the most volatile and daring storyline in the entire NFL. Dillon Gabriel, Shazier Sanders, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett, 4 quarterbacks, 1 starting job, and absolutely zero clarity. Yet from recent Browns OTAs, one thing is becoming increasingly evident. Dillon Gabriel's name isn't just an afterthought, it's rising, and he's leaving a real impression. That's right. Despite the whispers, the jokes, and the skepticism about his height, Gabriel has showcased flashes of brilliance that demand your attention. Let's dissect everything we've seen and heard straight from Browns camp and what it could mean for Week 1 and beyond. I'll give you the inside scoop, but first, smash that like button if you've been a diehard Browns fan for 16 plus years. It's great to see fans of all ages. Much respect. Now, let me ask you something. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate Kevin Stefanski as the Browns head coach? Drop your answer in the comments. All right, let's tackle the elephant in the room. Height. Dillon Gabriel checks in at barely 6 foot, and during OTAs, that wasn't just noticeable, it was glaring. Reports detail one moment that crystallized the concern. Gabriel, for all his effort, tried to loft the ball over the line during a drill, but the throw was batted down by defensive tackle Mason Graham. The play didn't just end with a swatted pass. It ended with coaches, players, and even reporters remarking on how small Gabriel looked behind the offensive line. One reporter caught on a hot mic even quipped, "I'm taller than him." That's not the kind of scrutiny you want when you're fighting to establish yourself as an NFL starter. But here's the twist. Gabriel knows this. The Browns knew this when they drafted him, and yet they brought him in anyway. Why? Because while height might be a limitation, accuracy is where Dillon Gabriel truly excels. And Browns fans, let me tell you, this kid can throw. Multiple OTA reports highlight Gabriel's uncanny ability to put the ball exactly where it needs to be. Whether it's a back shoulder fade or a perfectly led slant across the middle, his touch and precision are next level. In today's NFL, where completion percentages are soaring and the margin for error is razor thin, accuracy is everything. If Gabriel has that elite ball placement, he's already ahead of the curve. Gone are the days when a quarterback could complete 57% of his passes and still keep a job. Now, you need to live in the mid to high 60s just to stay relevant. Does Stefanski stick with his hand-picked guy, Gabriel, or does the front office, which may have wielded more influence on the Sanders pick, step in and force their quarterback into the lineup? This is where internal politics become a huge factor. As noted earlier, speculation is mounting that Gabriel was Stefanski's pick. Safe, smart, system-ready. Sanders, on the other hand, may have been more of an Andrew Berry or even Jimmy Haslam selection. High upside, marketable, and potentially the face of the franchise. That divide could sow tension if things start to unravel. And in Cleveland, as we all know too well, when things go sideways, they really go side. So let's break this all down before we wrap up today's exclusive deep dive. Dillon Gabriel. Short, precise, and playing catch-up behind a more physically gifted rookie and a wise veteran. Shader Sanders, and potentially groomed behind the scenes for a mid-season takeover. Joe Flacco, the current starter, but one bad stretch away from handing over the reins. Kenny Pickett, he might as well already be looking for his next team. This battle is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. And whether it's Flacco, Gabriel, or Sanders leading the charge come week 6, one thing is certain. This quarterback room is the most unpredictable in the entire league. Browns fans, we want your voice in this conversation. Who do you want starting in week 1? Drop your answer below. Now we shift from speculation to implications, because what happens next in this Browns quarterback saga won't just shape the 2025 season, it will ripple through the entire franchise. Let's talk about what's truly at stake here. If Kevin Stefanski rolls the dice on Dillon Gabriel and it backfires, it won't just be a failed experiment, it could be his job. This isn't 2020 anymore. There's no grace period, no wait-and-see buffer. He's already coached this team to the playoffs. Sure, but now he's facing the most politically charged, high-stakes quarterback situation of his tenure. If he bets on Gabriel and Sanders is the one lighting it up in practice, the front office and ownership might not just be frustrated, they might be ready to pull the plug. On the flip side, if Sanders starts and struggles, that's a direct hit to Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, who are widely believed to have championed Shedeur in the draft room. They're betting big on potential, big on upside. And as we've seen time and again in Cleveland, the moment politics start deciding who starts under center, chaos follows close behind. Thank you guys. See you next video.